That's why I'm just pulling into the church back there. It's 12:30. You're a little late, bud. Well, I thought I'd cut the camera back on and just talk about a couple other things that has been going on. You know, like I said, I tend to be down on people about stuff. I can be cynical and kind of, I don't know, negative about that. And I know people mention that, but I actually got a pretty good sense of humor, and I try to be pretty positive. But you know, when you just get bombarded with bad things that people do, and you have to see it a lot, it just kind of turns you a little bit, I don't know, a little bit negative, I guess. Try not to be that way, but that's why I don't make many of these videos, because I'd rather really focus on the good stuff. But I thought I'd bring you up to speed of what's been happening with Uncle Phil. Because everybody likes Uncle Phil. We all love Uncle Phil, but what's been happening with Uncle Phil is I don't really know recently. I haven't seen him. I haven't heard from him, haven't seen him. The last I talked to him was about 2 weeks ago, and his big idea was he's been looking for a bumper for that Plymouth since I took the old one off that was all rusted and rotted and got rid of it. He's been looking for a bumper for it, and you know, they're not hard to find. You just go to wherever they part out Mopars and you buy a bumper. I keep telling him that, and Uncle Phil's thing is, Uncle Phil is one of these people that would rather talk and talk and talk about something than actually do it, because actually doing it is going to cost him money. So he'll spend 6 months talking about a bumper, or a year talking about a bumper, and never go get one. So I've had to finally cut him off at that and say, you know, because what he tries to do, he tries to get me to do it. He tries to say, well, bud, why don't you call them and see if they got one, and then I'll give you the money, and you can, I finally said, nope, I'm not doing that, because, you know, it's like this big, it's like going to a titty bar, you know. You go to all this trouble, and you get halfway along with something you're interested in doing, and then that never happens. It's the same way with him. It's like, I mean, not like a titty bar, you know what I mean, but just the same outcome, so to speak. It's like, well, okay, Phil, you want a bumper? All right, I'll call and see if I can find you one. I'll find you one. Okay, Phil, I found you one. He'll say, okay, bud, thanks. I'll give you the money, or if you want to get it, I'll give you the money. Well, whoa, wait a minute. I got burned on that once already, a couple times on him about, he said, tell me to buy it and he'll give me the money back. Phil ain't got no money. So I bought that intake cover and that plenum, the one for that engine that blew up on that car he was supposedly going to buy or be given. He never has paid me for that. So I'm stuck with that damn thing. So nope. We're not doing that. So, you know, I've been through this several times with him, so finally I've started saying, look, here's the phone number, you call them, you find out. So I found him a Mopar salvage yard up over in Georgia. I got plenty of bumpers. All it takes is him to call, find out if they got the one he wants, how much, and go over there and get it. All right, well, that was 2.5 weeks ago. I have not heard anything from him since. You know, it's all the time, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So I don't know. I don't know what he's up to on that regard. You know, like you said, like you saw, rather, the last couple times I've been up there, I ain't seen that car up there. He claims it's still around, but he keeps having somebody work on it. Somebody, I don't know who somebody is. But he won't ever bring it down here to have me help him with it. He gets, I don't know what it is. It's like he doesn't want to come down and hang out with me and work on the cars and stuff. And I told him that. I said, you know what? I said, the whole point of that was you have an old car for us to go do stuff together with and work on and fix up, and you never come down. And he gets back into this same old shit that I've heard so much from people. I'm sick to death of hearing it. He says, well, bud, I know you work and you're busy and you're probably tired and you just don't want to do this on the weekends and blah, 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 blah. And I keep telling him and everybody else, yes, I work. I don't work that much. I mean, I work a normal schedule. All that is when people say stuff like that, the only reason they say it is because they're not talking about me or you. They're talking about them. They're saying, I don't want to come down. I don't want to come down and spend time with you. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to do that. I'm not interested. I got other things to do that I like doing better. That's all that means. So when you hear something like that, take it for what it means, not what they say. So that's that. He never brings the car down, and I guess you're going to pull right out in front of me. I'm smoking Acura. Back over. So anyway, that part, and then I found out, I know some people Phil knows, not many of them, but I found out that his abusive leech, non-working leech of a roommate is back out of jail finally. And you know, Phil said when he was in jail, Phil said, you know, that's the one that knocked Phil around and messed his face up and caused him almost lose vision in one of his eyes. And Phil says, oh, he's never coming back here. I'm so tired of this, you know, I'm gonna never have him back. Oh, no. Well, guess what? He's out of jail and he's back. Just like Phil said he would. Phil's, you know, I don't get it, man. It's been said before. They say people that have been abused or in some sort of abusive relationship, even if it, I mean, not relationship, but you know, some, you know, they're roommates, not like that, but you know, some sort of, whatever the situation is, you know, that, you know, they keep coming back for more. I mean, it sounds stupid to say it that way, but that's what they do. It's like women married to abusive husbands. They get beat up and they come right back. And Phil invites that dude right back home, right back there home, in direct opposition to what he said, you know. So he's been quiet. I guess doesn't want me to. He knows I'll ask about it. I don't care anymore. If he gets, I don't want anything to happen to Phil, but if, you know, he gets what he deserves. That's all you can say about it. He gets what he deserves, because, I mean, I won't say he deserves what he gets, but, you know, that dude's a bum. He's a non-working bum. He's a jailbird. And, you know, it kind of pisses me off in the end, because, you know, I'm not trying to be, you know, like that I'm deserved more attention than anybody else. It's not like that, but, you know, I look at it like this. I was like, you know, Phil hardly ever called me and hardly ever come down, and, you know, he helps when I ask him to help, but, you know, he doesn't know says he doesn't know what's been going on with me, and and then, you know, that dude, you can ask him about that dude now, he'll say, oh yeah, he's this, he's that, oh yeah, I went down to the jail to see him, I called him, I've got to make sure to give him a phone. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then Phil says, well, you're one of my best friends. And I think to myself, really? So anyway, that's that. That's about all I know with Uncle Phil. And so, and then back at the end of December, while we're on that sort of subject, at the end of December, one of my best friends from high school, was almost my exact same age, died of a stroke. He'd had struggle with his weight problems, and he kind of got that under control. And then a couple of years ago, he had started having heart problems. Had to have several bypasses, and then he was suffering from blood pressure problems, and had stopped taking medicine and for that, and had a cerebral hemorrhage, which was more or less fatal instantly. They kept him alive on a machine for a few days, but then he had no brain activity, so that was that. So they took him off the machine, and of course he couldn't live without the breathing machine. So lost him, and like I said, he was one of my best friends from school, but we had not been really, we'd been in touch, but we hadn't really been doing much. He was a real sort of a homebody. Didn't like to work, you know, he did stuff on the internet. He worked, you know, from home and things like that. But anyway, and here's another one of these things, and you know, he's a great guy, and I was friends with his mother for 30 years and still am friends with her, so I'm not trying to run her through the ringer. She's been through a terrible loss, but just one of those things, you know, you kind of look at what people do instead of what they say. And then I'm going to wrap this up, but you know, she says, well, Ty, I never hear from you. And you know, the fact of that is that when I moved here to Huntsville 4.5 years ago, she already lived there. They lived there already. They had moved from about the same area that I was living in previously. And I told her when I moved up here, I said, well, I moved into town. I said, we'll have to get together, and we'll have to get together and, you know, do whatever, eat and have coffee and stuff. She said, yeah, oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll get together. And I mean, after I moved up here and let them know I was up here, it's just crickets, you know, for years. I mean, I'd get a text on Christmas, Merry Christmas, and then I invited them out for Thanksgiving dinner with us one year, and they went, had a good time, and then, you know, you hardly ever hear anything. And, you know, I thought, well, I'll see if I'll kind of invite myself over to their house. They used to live right next door to me way back when, so we're, you know, close neighbors. But I said, I'll invite myself over to their house, and maybe for coffee or something that while we were up here. And I gave her a text, and I called her, and she says, well, she says, sure, I'd love to have you over, but we're tearing the cabinets out of the kitchen, and so the house is a mess, so wait until we got this done. I'll let you know when we're, you know, all finished with it. Well, I never got anything from that, so I just let it go. You know, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm not going to do all the work here. When you're friends, it's like any street. Most streets go two ways, and, you know, they know I live here, and et cetera, et cetera. And so, you know, on down the line, you know, I got another annual Christmas text, and she says, are you still living in Huntsville? And so, yeah, I'm still living in Huntsville, still the same place I lived when I moved here. And she said, well, I never hear from you, just never hear from you. And, you know, there again, I'm thinking, well, you know, there's a reason. I'm not going to do all the legwork. I'm not, you know, when he died, I went to the hospital and spent time with him, and, you know, it was a real emotional type of thing, you know, and, you know, it's just that way when you've been friends with people for a long time. You know, you're always friends with them, and it's the same kind of dynamic, but, you know, the same thing gets repeated back. It's like, well, I never hear from you, you know, I guess you're busy, and never hear from you, and never see you, and don't be a stranger. And so I made a concerted effort in the last few months after he passed away to stay in touch with her, and I'd send a text, and I'd just get these cryptic responses, you know, and I've not got the first text, you know, that's the way she likes to communicate. First text or first phone call since then directed solely to me, meaning that it wasn't me saying something first to get that response. Not one. So I'm not going to feel guilty about it. That's, you know, I had to, you know, it used to be that I was real big about going and visiting people and hanging out with them. And then I started realizing as I got older, I thought to myself, you know, here's the deal. I said, I'm doing all the work here. You know, these people are so-called friends of mine, but they never get in their cars and come down and see me. They hardly ever pick the phone up. You know, they don't know what's going on. So, you know, I'm going to stop all this. So I just do my own thing now, and now people have, for whatever reason, have turned that around from from the fact that it's them not calling me and them not staying in touch to, well, it's because of me, Tyler, is busy and he works a lot, and that's why. It is not. That is not the case. It's because you don't care. That's the simple fact. So that's what I was saying when I kind of alluded earlier. I said about a change of direction in things. You know, I don't know what's going to be possible or what I'm going to do, but, you know, this has gotten old. You know, there's nobody here to do anything with. You know, the people I do know, I rarely see them, rarely hear from them. So, you know, yeah, I mean, I like doing a lot of things on my own. I get a lot done. I like working on projects, but, you know, there are times that you enjoy being around people, and, you know, there ain't no future to this. I want to be someplace, if I'm going to have to do stuff, you know, spend my days all by myself doing my own thing, then I'm going to be somewhere where there's a lot of other stuff to do, like car shows and places to explore that are not in the middle of a swamp or in the middle of woods or a place like that, and damn sure not in Huntsville. So that's the deal, without going into any detail, because like I said, I really don't have a plan right now. I just know that, you know, this is, You know, I've given people plenty of chance to you know, make some effort here, and they haven't done it. So it is what it is. So guys, I'm going to go in here. I've got a little shopping list, and let's see what I wrote down on my shopping list. Yeah, it's getting hot, hot, hot. Let's see, drain cleaner, starter. That's not for a car. That's for the light, the fluorescent light. CFL bulbs, Niger, and sunflower, that's birdseed. Storage containers, spray bottle for my plants, and that last scribble is what's that say? Flammable? Floatable. Floribrat. Huh, okay. I'll figure that out before I get in there. Oh yeah, and I know people always look at other notes that are cut off. I wonder what that is. That was where I was. I've been having some computer problems. My computer, since Firefox has updated their operating software in their browser, has slowed my old computer down to almost nothing. So I was looking at my video card, trying to see what kind of video card I have, which is an NVIDIA GeForce 9200, which is a weak video card. So still trying to figure out what that is down there. Floribrat. Yeah. Okay. See you guys. Have a good one.